Good afternoon and happy Monday. My name is Jonathan Bernos. I'm your customer success manager. Welcome to the Southeast Region release notes and deploy notes update for September, October with the October release notes. I actually just made a video last week. I made it too late because we released the October notes, and so my video was out of date, like already super fast. So I had to recut a new video. But today is Monday, September 22nd. If you're watching this or around that time, so happy Monday, everybody. We're in a new week. We're almost to daylight savings, right? We're still doing that. Awesome. Well, I'm going to walk you through some things that I think are important to know. If you have questions, please reach out. We can talk about them on calls. You can schedule calls with me if you have questions. So I'm always available. Let's take a look. Oh, a couple things. I want to send out some reminders. We've got some events happening. I'm excited to share this one for
Share this
sales
event.
on behalf of our sales team, our account executive, Laura Shevlin, and team. But we are having a summit, which is the name of my dog. So as I say that, my dog may come running. I think he's actually outside, so we're good. Higher Education and Campus Summit 2025, October 21st. This is from 1 to 2:30 p.m. We've had a lot of feedback in the past, especially the last few years with InstructureCon that if you remember way back in the DISA, 2019, 2020, we had COVID. During that time, we didn't have an in-person InstructureCon. We had virtual events. There were some perks about having a virtual event. One of them being that you could engage with people for no cost. You could just hop into the event, the virtual event, and you could network and get information. So we want to bring back some of those good things about virtual summits. We're trying to do a little more hybrid events like this. So I think you'll recognize or appreciate some of the perks and benefits from a virtual summit. Again, October 21st, you can register for the event. I'll include the link in the email that accompanies this video. But the agenda has been posted. We will have a couple different rooms available for this event. You can see the themes for the rooms here below. Room number one will be the AI-enabled university. Innovation, access, and engagement. Room number two, learning without limits, shaping the future of lifelong education. Room number three, from optional to essential, accessibility without deniability. That'll be a popular room. And room number four, the retention blueprint from first year to finish line. So very cool events to take part in. One other event that I really want to promote, I haven't seen it published out to the community for North America just yet, but since I work with North America in the Southeast region of North America, I want to make sure that everyone has this in plenty of advance notice. Even if you can't attend the live event, please register for the event. The new and next webinar also linked into the email newsletter that this video is attached to. The new and next is a quarterly update from product where we will preview and show in great detail for some of these areas and these new tools our roadmap. So release notes, the big things that are coming in the release in the fall. So that's exciting. We have November, December left. There's some big enhancements coming for the end of fall. And we're also going to preview a little bit of it into spring. So that event takes place October 14th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You have to register in order to get the link, the call credentials and link. Even if you're not going to be able to attend live, which there is a benefit, there's always a great FAQ and discussion at the end of these, or you have the opportunity to ask in the moment as we're presenting the information, and you have product right there on the line. But if you're not able to attend live, if you do fill out the registration, you should receive a email as a follow-up with the recording in that email. In addition to that, it'll also be published to the Canvas or the instructor community under the live events page. For new and next. So I'll point to it in my calls, and I'll also remember to email that after it goes out. So again, for higher education, October 14th, 3 p.m. Eastern, you do have to register to attend. One other thing, this is going to be for our Florida schools, Southeast. We are having an in-person Connect. Florida Canvas Connect will be Thursday, October 2nd. That will be at 9 a.m. We'll run from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. This is like a little mini InstructureCon. So for my other states, if you guys are interested in doing something like this, I am happy to promote this and help you build this out. I know Alabama is very interested in maybe even converting over time your user group. That's when lots of schools get together to kind of network and talk about how you're using technology in higher ed, specifically Canvas. If you want to convert that into a Canvas hosted rather than a school kind of leading the charge. Canvas can lead the charge for you. We, of course, look for different schools to host the event, but we can take care of the planning and we'll help put together the content. But it's a great way to network with other schools, other Canvas users. That's what Florida does. They do it really, really well. I'm super excited to attend this event. But again, October 2nd, it's going to be an all-day event. We actually have a reception the night before from 5 to 8 p.m. This is all being hosted at the University of Florida, which is really, really exciting. Unless you're not a fan of University of Florida, but hey, this is for work. This is networking, so we put some of those things aside. But we are going to have a pre-conference reception at the Swamp. So if you're definitely not a Gators fan when it comes to sports, I'm sorry, but try to look the other way. Then the next day, of course, we're going to have full conference, Connect conference. We're going to have lots of great speakers there. We also have three different tracks to take. We've organized our sessions into three different tracks. Those are all just different institutions. Those are your presentations. So lots of great sessions, lots of great ideas. I'm really excited to hear and to take part and to bring this information back with me and share it with others. So check out the agenda there that I'm showing quickly. I'll post it for our Florida schools. I'll post it into the email newsletter. Heck, I might just post it for everybody, just if you're curious. If you're close to Florida and you want to attend, they'd love to have you. So registration form is still open, but we're almost full. So register soon before we hit capacity. All right, next thing I want to jump into is our community weekly highlights. I post these into my call agendas. I like to point them out because they always have updated information. This is information from September 9th through the 15th. This will be updated tomorrow. If you're watching this in the evening of Monday, September 22nd, we like to update these on Tuesdays. These will have lots of upcoming events. If you're curious or see anything that kind of looks interesting, might pertain to you, you're always welcome to jump into those live events. And then we have recordings of those events as well once they're complete. We also post upcoming or new information, relevant information to product roadmap releases. The product blog posts that they often make with new releases and things, pilots, things that are rolling out. Those are going to be updated here. You'll see the updates here. You'll also see any feature user groups that we have running. And you can hop into those. We have popular user groups right now are differentiation tags as we continue to expand those. Rubrics, if you're interested in enhanced rubrics and kind of some of the tools we're building along with that group, that's going to include in the new and next webinar, we are going to preview a new tool for an AI assisted tool for building rubrics, which is really exciting. So you'll get to see some of that. So if you're not interested in enhanced rubrics or rubrics in any way right now, that AI tool might be a really big perk and a reason that you can look at rubrics moving forward. So as well as all the other release notes from different areas and different products that tie to Canvas. You'll see that there as well. One thing I also kind of want to call out, because it's kind of buried in the notes here, but we, about a year ago, introduced a block editor and it kind of fell flat and we decided to revamp it. So we rebuilt a new block editor, which is now being offered for pilot. This is public information. So if your instructors stumble upon this, just know that we're going to filter any interest back to the institution first. You guys get to make that decision on whether a pilot's available or not. There is a form here. So if you're a Canvas administrator and you're interested in a pilot, you can fill out that form and we'll get you on the list to potentially pilot the new block editor, which would appear in the RCE. The cool thing about some of these screenshots, looking at the editor, is we've taken your feedback, and the blog post explains this a little bit more in detail, but we've taken your feedback, we've made adjustments based on that feedback, but you're seeing some hints of AI tools that'll be really helpful when it comes to accessibility. This is this is an AI tool, I can tell by the brand here, that generates alt text to images. You'll see more of that kind of coming to the forefront. We'll get more information about that, especially from the new and next webinar, and then as we prepare for spring. So another good reason to kind of test some of the new features and new tools. Anytime you see a pilot, the pilots are all part of our early adopter program. So we're trying to organize those pilots to collect feedback from you as you're testing for us to help make those tools and those pilots better before they roll into production. So if you have interest in any of that, please let me know. I did specifically want to call out the block editor as we're rolling out the interest form to pilot on September 29th. So yeah, check that out. So let's jump into our Canvas LMS release notes and deploy notes. Like I said, we had an update, which is why I'm remaking this video. This one's already so much better than the other one, so don't feel like you missed anything. I didn't send out the previous version, so this is so much better. Like I said, I think the last version we covered the 924. I'm sorry, the 9. Let me go to the all release notes so I can divide up by release and deploy. I covered the 920 release. The biggest component of the 920 release, which just took place over the last weekend, was going to be the AI translation tool that was for inbox discussions and announcements. That was delayed, and we see it now appear on the October 18th release. Before I get feedback on the, oh, well, there you go again, product. There you guys go. Instructure's notorious for letting dates slip and having to delay things. They did get this out early enough to there wasn't a big disruption. The options are off by default, so again, you wouldn't this wouldn't interrupt any workflow, and it hasn't happened in a long time. Honestly, it's been months since we've actually seen any red line in the release notes or anything has slipped. So I will say that in defense of product. So I think so. Lately they've been doing a really good job with QA and testing and making sure things don't roll out or things don't delay at the last moment. So there's not much to cover in the 920 release notes. All that being said, there are some updates to we added a self-serve user data export option. So if you are interested in that, it would be good to review the September release notes. Aside from that, the biggest updates are the upcoming October release. And like I said, the AI translation tool has moved. We've covered the AI translation tool before. Some of the points of feedback in for this tool were around discussion threads. There is a student benefit for the translation tool within discussion threads. The feedback was, well, if it's a language course, we don't want our students using a translation tool. Of course, we want them to be able to use the language from the course in the discussion thread. So on a course-by-course basis, your instructors can disable that tool if it has been enabled for the account, so that it can't be used within a language course. Outside of discussions, the translation tool is a great tool for instructors for announcements and for their own inbox. So again, most of these tools, 99% of the AI tools right now are for the instructor's use as an assistant for them. So I'm doing these Italian hands. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I'm doing that right now. So, but it's happening. It's real. So take a look at the notes before we get to the popular feature for that translation tool, which is enabled or available for your beta and test instances if you'd like to test it in advance. Notice we have some additional updates for differentiation tags. This for the instructor level. The differentiation tag. The big thing here is that we have altered the way that you enable differentiation tags. It was a feature option setting. What this update on the release notes side is saying is that option is going away. And then in October, in production, the way to use or enable differentiation tags for course level use, that's where they're at right now, is going to be within your features under your settings tab. So as a Canvas administrator, this is where you'll go to turn those on. You'll notice you have an option underneath that similar to the feature option for locking, lock this setting for sub-accounts and courses. So it's really the same, but it's just in a different area, and it's really more granular control for the administration team to enable this. This is, of course, going to continue to enhance and expand into the account level, which I think is why we're making some of these changes. But right below this change, again, the main change is the feature option setting, the flag is going away. It's turning into a checkbox only under features and under your settings area as an administrator. You see underneath that, we've added all kinds of new features in the last few deploys and in a few releases ago. So great tool for instructors at the course level to label their data, their student data. You can import, you can export, you can label, you can filter now. It does appear also not just in the people area, but also in gradebook. There's all kinds of great use cases for this requested feature. This will be moving to the account level, so it'll have even greater functionality and use for the account level and for administration. So keep an eye on that as we continue to evolve. Check out the differentiation group page as well. So it's where you're going to see all the discussion about this and see any new updates we make to it. So Getting down into the main gravy for the meat and potatoes that we talked about. This is the AI translation tool. Again, there's a group page for this as well. If you want to turn this on in beta or test first, of course, I would always encourage that before we get to the October release date. But plenty of time to test. It is a great tool. I've used it on the inbox. I've seen it in discussions. It has the AI Ignite branding, which we'll talk more about in the new and next webinar. But you'll see that start to pop up in different places around in Canvas in specific areas. Those are all built-in features of and core features of the LMS if you turn it on, if you enable it. So you do have control over that, whether you're using these tools or not. And that is our release notes. So biggest part of our update video for today. The one other area I want to touch on is the latest deploy. So I'm going to jump into deploy. And the deploy notes, notice on 9/24, which will take place tomorrow. It's a Tuesday. That's also when we publish we update our community updates. But notice the deploy notes, they're pretty thick. There's quite a bit here. Most of it, the last few months has been in differentiation tags. This month, they are in enhanced rubrics. So what does that usually tell me when we're making lots of updates via deploy existing functionality? We're making tweaks and new enhancements to existing functionality means that we're going to roll out a bigger tool soon. That's going to be your rubric generation tool, which is an AI tool that'll be announced during the new and next webinar in October. Should be available at some point in the November, December release. So you'll definitely want to learn more about that. But that's what we're prepping, I believe, with some of the deploys you see on 9/24. Let's go into the notes and take a look at these. Scrolling on down to YouTube overlay. So this is not a Canvas-driven change. I will say that. This you may have seen some information about this over the past few months. It's changed a bit, but the finalized version is that YouTube will be rolling out advertising in their videos, regardless of what type of video that it is. It doesn't matter if it's education, it doesn't matter if it's nonprofit. They're going to be rolling advertising out for everybody. We pushed back on that because, of course, in higher ed and as an LMS, we don't want advertising in our videos for education. So YouTube their compromise was, this is their compromise. They will not play advertising as long as you have, here's the kicker, as long as you have a subscription to the YouTube for education, or you have a studio subscription. So if you're a studio user, studio customer, there's a nice benefit there that you won't see advertising with YouTube videos that are embedded or used within the course content, or if they're used or embedded into Studio itself. So in both areas, Canvas and Studio. If you're not a Studio user and you're not a YouTube for Education user, then you're going to have advertisements. There's no way around that. So what we've done is we rolled out a feature flag where this is off by default, but you have the option to turn it on. It's an overlay message. If you do turn it on, it gives a disclaimer on the top of the video. It basically says, hey, this video will probably have YouTube ads. So specifically, note the wording there, YouTube ads, not Canvas ads. The disclaimer is good to use the overlay because, as a reminder, we can't control the advertising. And if you've been on YouTube at all, who knows what pops up with their algorithms they use for advertising. So we definitely don't want anyone to think, well, the Canvas is pushing this, skin cream. We can't control it. So it's going to depend on that user's algorithm, but we do definitely want to give them a disclaimer, let them know, hey, we're not pushing these ads. This is YouTube, and you're definitely going to see advertising if you fall into that group. The rest of these, if there's questions about that, let me know. If you're angry about it, call your YouTube rep or email YouTube. All right, external tools. So we're also making some UI or aesthetic changes to the top navigation test tool. These aren't big changes. A lot of these are accessibility driven. We constantly see accessibility updates in Canvas. The next one, view hidden grades indicators. So we've added an indicator, which is an option now in your settings or view options and gradebook settings. You can select to view the hidden grades indicator as an instructor. This does not show to students. So in the gradebook for instructors, letting you know that the student can't see the hidden grade will be a small indicator that appears. The page views themselves have been updated. You're going to see that they've been organized neatly and nicely by catalog for columns and rows. So much easier to view. Column headers, I believe, are sortable. I can't remember now for sure, but I believe they are. You have additional columns or updates here with date filtering, CSV downloads, CSV export requests, page views, and notifications. Down below that, we'll see there's the page view screenshot and then the export screen now as well. So lots of a great way to organize the information. SpeedGrader, we've made some updates here so that the multi-select section filter now has check boxes. So a little bit easier, again, meeting accessibility guidelines as well. And then scrolling on down, differentiation tags. There is, even though there's not as many this month for our deploys, there is some updates here. The imports tag tray now allows the instructors to download differentiation tag template file. The CSV is pre-formatted for imports to include the current course roster along with group memberships. So template file just eliminates the possibility of error when doing that import. So if you're giving them a template that they're able to populate or use, should help speed up the process. Enhanced rubrics, the outcomes pill is now clickable. So you notice this can save some time. This is when you're in the rubric builder and the rubric assessment views, the instructor can click the outcome pill to open and show the details rather than taking them to a different page. So it should save on the workflow. You'll see the module window that pops up when they click that. Assignment and rubric points mismatch alerts. So when you're creating or editing assignments, again, more enhanced rubric updates and changes, the instructors are going to be alerted if the total rubric points don't match up to the assignment points. And you can either select to change that at that time, or you can just leave them different. Rubric layout persists. SpeedGrader, the selected rubric view persists when moving between student submissions. So there's some pictures of that workflow. Rubric point values. This is when you're creating a rubric. Instructors have the option to display the actual point value for each rating instead of or alongside the default numeric labels, which are 1 through 4. This update applies to both horizontal and vertical rubric views in SpeedGrader. And then finally, the performance usability upgrades for SpeedGrader. This is a multi-select sections filter. So just again, this is related to accessibility, making additional enhancements and changes to that as well. So, alrighty, that's your really your main big updates. Their main big updates, yeah. The last thing that I want to mention is I want to show a real quick slide. So we're also going to get some information about Canvas Career. If you've heard about this from InstructureCon, Canvas Career is a independent, separate LMS experience. The core, one of the cores of Canvas Career is Canvas itself. Familiar with in higher ed with our institutions, just the look and feel of Canvas is there. But the other core component of Canvas Career is artificial intelligence. I just got done reviewing this internally, and another reason why I wanted to make this video and refresh it, because now that I'm enabled on it, I can kind of see a little more of the vision, and I'm excited about it. So I'll mention this. This is why we've moved in this direction. So if you've been around a long time and you're familiar with Bridge, this is not Bridge. I thought that at first too, but it's not. So a couple stats pointing out that I knew the numbers, didn't know the specific stats, but I knew kind of some of the logic behind this. But looking at institutions, that if you are forward thinking and you're looking at skills over traditional degree paths, which right now it should be on both, but looking ahead, how we're evaluating how do skills come into play. So right now, some of these stats, which I thought were interesting, 39% of your average worker's skill set will become transformed or will become outdated in the next 5 years, which is kind of mind-numbing. But when you look at the pace of AI, it makes sense. 63% of employers have identified workforce skill gaps as the biggest barrier to business transformation. And then also 59% of global workers will require reskilling or upskilling by the year 2030. All interesting numbers, all within the next 5 years. I say all of that because Canvas Career is a solution for that looking forward into those statistics. Canvas Career can be a solution. Canvas Career is for any higher ed institution, 2-year, 4-year, whether you're a technical college, community college, 2-year program, or you're a full 4-year higher ed institution, university. If you're looking at skill development and career advancement, which you should be, if you have a catalog program at all, whether it's Canvas catalog or some type of catalog, looking at non-traditional, the enrollment programs, Canvas Career is not an add-on to Canvas. It's completely separate. It's a separate LMS, but it has the look and feel of Canvas again. Um, One school can use both depending on their need, Canvas Career or Canvas that we're all familiar with. The Canvas Career is truly built with the AI tool, which is really impressive and such a great assistant. But it's built for those higher ed institutions that are looking ahead for the non-traditional enrollment programs, looking at continuing education, professional development, both externally and internally, and any institution that's focused on adult learning. Um, that hopefully at some point will be everybody. So if you're interested in this, the reason why I'm talking through this is that we have pilots that will begin when we announce this in October. We have the ability to get you started into a pilot or learn more. First, we would start with kind of a discovery demonstration, be able to show you what that looks like, what Canvas Career looks like, which will be very familiar, but the AI tools, again, are super impressive. We can give you a timeline. We can give you more pricing information about it. But we also have some pilot opportunities that don't involve any commitment and don't involve any pricing or purchase. If you just want to have some of your admins take a look at some of the features. If you want to start using it, we do have some other pilot options, which are really exciting, again, without any long-term commitment. If you are a catalog user, Canvas catalog user, this is a great solution. It's kind of the next level that I think we can get close to with catalog, but beyond that, when we get even bigger, and then of course, when you throw AI into it, this is the best solution. I think this is going to be a game changer in the market. And so I'm super excited about it, which is the reason why I wanted to throw it into the end of this. All that being said, at the end of the video, I'll put this into the email newsletter. If you're interested in talking about this, please let me know. I'm happy to set up a demonstration call, answer questions, feature this, show this to you. Laura and I can both show this to you, answer questions, and then set you up with pilots, pricing information, timeline. I think it's going to be worth the investment. I do. If you have those groups already, if you're thinking about, oh yeah, so and so would really like this over in continuing ed, if you have professional development, internal training, I think this would be great. Developing skills, again, skill set focused, non-traditional enrollment programs. This is going to be really cool. And I can't say officially yet that it works with catalog, but it will. And as far as it goes with learning curve in Canvas, there's no learning curve. If you know Canvas, then you're going to recognize this. But it looks fresh. It looks new, and the AI inside of it is new, and that's the core, and that's really going to be, again, going back to this is going to be a game changer. So I'm excited about it. I'd love to talk more about it to you. Please share this part of the video to the applicable, leadership contacts at your institution. Happy to have conversations about this, answer questions. But that's all I got for today and for this update for your September, October release notes. We will see you soon. Hopefully, we'll see you at a Canvas live event or virtual event soon. See you at the new and next webinar in October, and we'll catch up sometime after that. But have a great rest of your week. Thank you all for watching my video.